Hi everybody, I hope everybody's having a good day wherever they are. I'm with Lizzie. Today I'll be talking about prepping with people who have disabilities, different kinds of disabilities. I don't see too many videos with the subject, and I think it's a good subject to talk about because I have a learning disability. I also have ADHD, so that's hyperactivity disorder or whatever you call it. Anyway, I think anybody can prep. It doesn't matter if you have a disability or not, or it doesn't matter. I think it's good that you prep in general because I don't want to be anybody to be responsible for myself. Anybody to be responsible. I want to be responsible for myself and the people who I care about. Other than that, also, if you have a disability, you just prepare. If it's a learning disability, you might be a little slower. Or if you have ADHD, some people take medicine for ADHD, and other people don't, which is fine because it has some side effects. I think, yeah, ADHD. And if you have epilepsy, you would just have to prep for a lot of medicines for that. If you have epilepsy, if also, you probably could grow some stuff because I think you can also marijuana. So, like I say, I'm not responsible if anybody gets hurt. It's just my opinion. Sometimes I swear, so I'm not responsible because in some states, in Massachusetts, you're allowed to grow marijuana, so you could have marijuana. You can only have 3 plants and you have to buy it. So it's legally in Massachusetts. I don't know. You have to figure out what state you are, what country that allows marijuana use. So, yeah, so you could do that for people with epilepsy. Or if you have someone who's in a wheelchair or something, you would have to prepare for them in a wheelchair. I think it would be good if you lived in a house to have a ramp, or if you have an apartment that there's ramps for you can get in and out of. If you have an apartment, or if you live in a condo and you need a ramp, it's good to have a ramp for condos. Or if you have like artistic people, that'd be kind of hard because if you have a loud child that's artistic, people might not understand, and it's terrible to have an artistic kid, or an adult. It depends, I guess, on the level of being artistic. So you'd have to prepare for that and how loud they're going to be, or if they're very loud or not. And also if people have Down syndrome, because there's different levels for Down syndrome. I've met different levels. Some, are mild, and some have mild cases where they can have jobs and stuff. So you could prep for them, and they're very responsible. They can finish high school and get jobs. The high functioning ones, or the ones that can, they can be high functioning and do different things. Or if someone has a speech impairment, or someone who is deaf, that would be kind of hard to prep for someone who's deaf because they can't hear, and they would need to learn people would have to learn sign language. That would be hard to prep for someone who is deaf because they can't hear. Or if someone's blind, that would be hard to prep for someone who's blind. You would have to have a seeing eye dog, and you would have to have, like, a seeing eye dog would be the best thing, or you would need a cane or something. And if you're deaf, you would have to have someone, make sure they know how to read lips, if they're deaf. And different kinds of disabilities, if they have, also if someone has post-traumatic stress disorder, you would have to, be careful with that, because people who have that get, depressed, and they have trouble sleeping and different kinds of thing. And sometimes people have severe disabilities, which is hard to prep for them because you have to keep an eye on them all the time. You would have to have someone who is involved in their lives constantly. And some people who are very, and would you want to take care of the person? Yeah, I know this is a hard subject. Would you want to take care of someone who has a severe disability? Like they might be like an adult, but they act like they're 2 or 3. Their brain is like a 2 or 3 year old, which is kind of sad. like they were born that way. They can't help it. But would you want to prep for someone in your family, if you have a friend or a family member or a relative or a neighbor, would you prep for someone who has a severe disability, or if someone has who is paraplegic, would you, like I said, in a wheelchair, would you want to help them with that, or someone who's, the thing from your neck down, would you want to prep for people who are, I forget what it's called, from the neck down, would you want to prep for that, or if someone has, or if someone had an accident like in war, like what happened in Vietnam or Desert Storm, if they leg got blown off, or and they end up having a disability like through an accident at wartime, or when they were in the military, would you want to prep? Would they prep for someone whose leg got blown off, or you had someone who had like, who lost an arm or a leg and they're an amputee, that's considered disability. Would you want to prep for someone, or would they? I think it would be fine. You can use the other arm or your leg, or you could get one of those artificial arms and legs and learn how to use it. I think you could do. I think there's nothing you can do if you think you can do it and you're smart enough and you have people who care and love you in your group, family members or friends or neighbors. And also, don't forget your four-legged friends, dogs or cats. Don't forget to prepare for them, because they're an important part of the family too. And with a person with a disability, they love animals mostly. Most people do. Not all people love animals, but most of the people in my family do love animals. So it's good to have a pet because it helps them. Makes me feel like a kid at heart. So hopefully my video isn't too long. Until my next video, take care and bye. And don't forget to prepare.